Welcome back and prepare to be bedazzled because today I'm going to be demystifying why most real private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand in the broken economy, that is in a ceaseless economic depression, have not offered job security since at least 2008, even though the real private sector unemployment rate is at least 97%. So why does this happen to be the case, you may ask? Without further ado, without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. Lamentably, much to my dismay, much to my consternation, much to my chagrin, much to my grief, much to my agony, much to my agitation, and much to my irritation, most real private sector employed jobs based on voluntary demand are often deemed to be dead-end, highly time-depleting, debilitating, minimum wage, dispiriting, unfulfilling, undesirable, harrowing, distressful, really wretched, ineffably agonizing jobs that not only dispossess an employee out of almost always sacrosanct time, but that also do not furnish him with anything close to even one-fourth of a subsistence wage for burning housing. Furthermore, most real private sector employers are keen on not offering any benefits nor pensions to the real private sector employees. Moreover, almost 100% of the profits that companies generate are reserved for their shareholders, executives, and external directors. Furthermore, a copious amount of real private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand have hazardous employee working conditions that render employees at a high probability of succumbing to a workplace injury. You never want to succumb to becoming maimed. So most real private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand do not offer an iota of job security, since offering job security would be unconducive to allowing companies to maximize their profits in the short haul, and would render it more cumbersome for companies to offer massive compensations to their executives, and would also render it more arduous for companies to be able to offer sizable retainer fees to their external directors, and would also render it more difficult for companies to be able to maximize the wealth of their shareholders in the short haul. Companies want to reserve the option to be able to abruptly oust their employees from their employee positions at any given moment on a whim, with or without cause. They were to furnish job security to the real private sector employees, and they would no longer have the option to be able to abruptly oust their employees from their employee positions on a whim, with or without cause. Companies want to be able to customize their employee workforce to their preferences if they were to offer job security to the real private sector employees, and it would be more cumbersome for them to quite hire in the real private sector employees to fulfill multiple employee roles at their companies simultaneously. Furthermore, even though the real unemployment rate is at least 97% in this broken economy that is in a ceaseless economic depression, companies still have a surfeit of candidates who are amenable to working real private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand, even though they provide emolument in the form of a minimum wage, which only furnishes employees with an infinitesimal amount of purchasing power. When you earn a minimum wage, you have a negligible amount of purchasing power, which is not enough to be able to afford to attain an extremely low standard of living. So, to recapitulate, offering job security is not appealing to most companies. Most companies are recalcitrant about offering an infinitesimal amount of job security to the real private sector employees because they want to reserve the option to be able to abruptly, on a whim, oust the real private sector employees from their employee positions with or without cause at any given moment. They do not want the real private sector employees to perpetually retain their real private sector employee positions at the employer's company. They want to be able to maximize the productivity level of their workforce, and they want to have the option to tailor their real private sector employee workforce to their preferences They also want to reserve the option to displace the real private sector employees as artificial intelligence-powered robots if they would offer job security to the real private sector employees, and they may forego having that option. They do not want to forfeit having the option to displace the real private sector employees as artificial intelligence-powered robots at any given moment. So I hope that you deem this video to be riveting, captivating, mesmerizing, enthralling, intriguing, engrossing, and insightful. Once again, the companies do not want to forfeit having the option to displace a real private sector employee workforce with artificial intelligence-powered robots at any given moment, since they want to be able to minimize their labor costs and maximize the productivity level of the real private sector workforce. Thanks for watching. Have a blissful day.